So we are live. We are live from the Ranger, and it's just you and me. I don't see anybody in here, so we're good.
He's trying. Okay, Rob said he's trying to get the mic and the camera working. So I don't know if he's on a PC or if he is on his phone, which is totally cool. We're gonna have a guest with us tonight, and he's a good friend of mine. He is a longtime friend. I don't want to give too much away. He'll just go by Rob, and he's got a good mind, a good prepper mindset, just like everybody else in the community, and he's one of us. So
heck yeah! Well, hopefully he can get his
if he can make it on, he will be joining us if he can make it. But if not, we'll just roll with tonight's topic, and it's the hindsight of an adventurer. And I mean, this guy really needs no introduction because they made a movie, The Jungle, based on this individual, Yossi Ginsberg. I don't know if you've ever heard of that name, but he's now one of the most. He was given an award for the most a speaker or a storyteller of some kind. Was like one of the most not energetic, but most profound storyteller speakers because of his story. And I only watched 2 to 3 videos of him speaking, and yeah, he's up there. He's there. He's on that level with on telling a story, and his story. Yeah,
I bet he did get really good at that after his experience, and then telling it time and time again. I bet he really gets into telling that story because just from what I read and seen, boy, that is something. So if I was him, I would definitely be telling that as best as I could, painting a very vivid picture.
You know how have you ever heard the old adage, if you may have left the jungle, but the jungle hasn't left you?
Right.
That is that person. That is this guy, Yossi. He said that which was very interesting, and interesting to hear that him say from his own words, is that there's the best place for you to find yourself is at the darkest, deepest place. So that's the best place to find who you are is when you are at the lowest. Okay. Right. So he had found himself at the lowest of the low, ready to kill himself, ready to commit suicide, and because of his circumstances. And when a person says that's where you find out the most important things, that because there's only one way, right? At the bottom, there's only one way to go. It's up. It's back up. So he's the quintessential survivalist of the week. he's doing pretty good. So shall I roll right into him and kind of the situation that's happening here?
Yeah, let's do that. And the only person I see in here right now is Ohio Prepper. She says, "Hello, gentlemen." So just say what's up to her real quick, and then
hello, Ohio Prepper. Good to see you. Thank you for joining.
We'll just roll on with it then.
Let's roll with it. And
yes,
if anybody wants to kind of recap, this is going to be a quick one, but it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a good one. It's tough, but it's going to be good. We're doing a hindsight. Okay, we're talking about this is. I'm going to give you a date, kind of get a setting, a date, which is around 1980, 1981. It's kind of where I found where he started his little journey into the Amazon. Quick backstory. real quick. Yossi Ginsburg. He was an IDF soldier after his training in the Israeli Defense Force. He spent 3 years in the Navy, and I don't know if it's for Israeli Navy. It was for, I'm thinking pretty much it was the Israeli Navy. But he spent the 3 years there, and he had read a book about I think it was a Frenchman who wrote a story about adventure, and was an escape adventure story that he kind of really liked. He read a novel, and that really kind of set the pace for his attitude for his need to seek adventure. And after his service was over, he wanted to go to the Amazon rainforest, and follow his footsteps. And he passed away. So he couldn't really ask for his permission to follow this author's footsteps that inspired him so much. But he still wanted to adventure. Anyway, he met up with a teacher. Okay, we'll get into that. Hold on. Carl, I'm going to ruin this last name. Ruppert.
Good enough for me, man.
Ruperture. I don't know. Okay. He claimed to be Carl. I'm just going to call him Carl. He claimed to be an Austrian geologist. Okay. There's that guy. Along his travels, he met another individual named Marcus Stram, and he was a teacher. And they're all in there right now. They think they're in Bolivia. They're South America.
Mm-hmm.
Bolivia?
It was somewhere in South America. I can't remember exactly where it was. We can say Bolivia is. Don't remember exactly because they went to 3 or 4 different places, kind of picking up stragglers and finding each other.
They were bouncing all around
to the Amazon.
Yeah, they were bouncing all around and kind of meeting people, and
right.
Kind of creating kind of a friendship there. It seems like from the articles that I've been reading, and then they met a guy named Kevin Gale, and he was a photographer from Oregon, actually, kind of close to the neck of the woods I was raised in, close but not Oregon. Anyway, so these 4 individuals, they were Yossi was already looking for an adventure, and Carl was his guy, because Carl, the geologist, had this idea, and he was planning an expedition, and he needed some people. And the expedition was to find a lost civilization, to find gold and riches, and to communicate and make contact with these tribes in the Amazon rainforest. So that's really where Yossi was like, I'm your dude. I'm going with you. Rob says it keeps saying browser has blocked him. Give me a sec here. Just
you're good.
I'm gonna try to. He even downloaded the Stream app. Okay, give me a sec. I apologize. I'm trying to get
you're good
here.
So yeah, the guy that was supposed to be a geologist, he ended up being a major criminal. In the long run of the story, he ended up being a major criminal that was sought after by everybody all around the world, and it was quite actually humorous once it all unfolded, because he ended up floating around by himself for quite some time and getting rescued. I'm kind of reading a little bit of it. I'm just trying to fill in my Heartland's doing this, but floating around for a little bit and ended up getting rescued, and he was horribly like starving and everything like that, but he was grateful that he was being rescued. But at the same time, he is getting ready to go face a ton of prison time in a a world, what would you call it, like every there was like 5 different countries that was looking for this dude. So he was looking at some serious prison time, and probably at not a very nice place. See if that works. Rob, can you hear me, Rob? I can see your name and blank screen, and we lost Heartland. All right, well, Rob, I don't know if you can mess with your mic a little bit or what you can do there to try to get on here. Let's try this again.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Oh, there we go.
Hello?
Yeah.
Rob, you're in here
Can you
twice.
see me?
Look at you.
I am?
Okay, no.
Can you see me? I don't know if
I can hear you, but we
Can
can't
you see me?
yet.
No, we can just hear you there.
You can't see me.
Do you see the
You do see me or no?
No, we cannot see you. Can you hear
our
us?
interpreter says 5x5, so apparently maybe they can see you.
I don't know, but I can hear you guys. So thank you for and having me on, and I'm just here to listen and maybe give my 2 cents here and there. So go ahead with what you guys were doing.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Where was I? Where was I?
That's all right.
Okay, we got the Carl, right? The geologist saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's go on an expedition in the Amazon. Let's locate this indigenous tribe." And then he was promising riches and gold and things like that. Okay, and Yossi was digging it because he wanted the adventure. He wanted that type of thing anyway. And so for the rations that they had taken, they had said they had packed some bags, and that they took beans, rice, and some salt with them. And the plan was to eat or kill and eat the wild game on the travel through there. And already Marcus, the teacher, he did not want to eat monkey. I mean, he refused to eat monkey. And so all he was eating was some rice and some beans. And, they were drinking water and, purified water and things like that. But Marcus was complaining about the food the entire time.
Right.
Marcus, in fact, ended up getting trench foot and was slowing the group down during this trek. And they had gone in, they followed a river on foot for a long time. And for days they had traveled. I think it was 4 days they had traveled.
Yep, 4 days, and they should have been to their location by then.
They kept pushing him, and he's like, you know what? He can't go any further. They decided to abandon that journey into the Amazon, and the two men. Well, they split the group into two. 2 went one way and 2 went the other way. There was on the river, 2 were going to use a raft. They built a raft, and they're going to say, we're going to take this raft and we're going to take the river and we'll meet you. The other 2 decided they're going to walk around. But it would take them weeks to walk around. And so Marcus and Carl were the 2 who decided to walk. The one that had already had trench foot, and then the other one was the geologist, right?
Right.
Carl walked with Marcus, is that right?
Yeah, because let's see here, Yoshi and the other guy,
Kevin, Yoshi and Kevin went together on the raft.
Yeah, because they became kind of friends, and Yoshi
Right.
looked up to him because of kind of an age difference, but also because he just kind of took that leadership role just in general, and just was kind of a natural leader. So he just kind of fell in line with him.
So they split the group. The companions split up. 2 walked, 2 took a raft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the 2 that walked were never seen again. that's where their story ends, because they have never been seen again.
Right. No trace ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's where their situation, it got really bad for them. They made a really bad decision onto walking. Anyway, Yossi and Kevin, they took the raft. They lost control of the raft during a rapid portion of part of the river, and before the raft went over the falls, Kevin was thrown from the raft. So was Yossi, and Kevin had managed to make it to shore, and that's where Yossi went over the falls. That's where those two got separated until the end here. So they're separated now. Yossi has. Well, let's stick with Kevin for a second, because he was rescued by a local tribe, and they rescued him, and he was good to go. I mean, he had everything he needed. Yossi, on the other hand, was washed downriver. I don't know for how long. When he finally made it out of the river, he was completely lost and alone, with no supplies, nothing to protect himself, no knife, no gun, no, just I think what he said, he had a pair of shoes that he had tied to keep from losing them.
He had a lighter and
sometimes when he was in the river, he would keep his shoes dry. That's where he had tied him up here. But he had spent 17 days in the jungle alone. Right. He was foraging off of berries. He was delusional. I mean, there was at one point he had talked about a mysterious woman, a native woman, saved his life. He doesn't know if that was real or not to this day. So he was experiencing extreme food malnutrition, and so he was starving. He said that if someone had offered him human flesh, he would have eaten it. He was that hungry.
Yeah.
Here's another interesting point. He had so many like open wounds and sores on his feet, that to distract from the pain. Now, got to wrap your head around this, because this blew my mind. To distract from the pain of his body, he had shook a tree that was full of fire ants onto him, and when they were biting him, the waves of sheer pain and adrenaline distracted him from the rest of the pain from his other sores. That right there is just crazy, insane. Like, you have to be in, like, your pain threshold must be really low. It's for you to like drop ants on you to kill the pain from something else. I don't know what it is, man.
Let's get some more pain so I can forget about this other pain.
He's like, and he's basically like, I'm gonna give up. He's got to give up.
Right.
Well, when he chose to give up, which is one of those remarkable things. Again, fate is a crazy thing. When he chose to give up, finally, 17 days, I think it was day 18, I mean, this guy went through flash floods. This guy went through everything. The cover of the canopy of the rainforest blocked out moonlight, starlight, everything. So when the sun set, it's pitch black, and you imagine yourself in the pit of despair, in the abyss. With this is hell for this man. For 17 nights, he would go through when the darkness would settle in. It would settle in, he said, like velvet. It was so dark. You you're just waiting for something to kill you. Because there's jaguar, there's poisonous snakes and spiders, and freaking he is at the
and they're all nocturnal.
He's the mercy of nature, and nature has got this guy on his knees, and he's just like, please, please, please. Anyway, the last second of the search rescue, at the last second, the last 100-mile stretch of the rescue party, it was two guys. I think it was two guys in a boat. They had turned to make their exit because it was a lost cause. They saw him where he had collapsed on the beach or right near the river, and happy ending. He's alive. He has an amazing story to tell.
Wow.
Yossi Ginsburg. Okay, movie is The Jungle. He wrote a book called Jungle. It's just Jungle, and he's the quintessential Mowgli. I mean, he was out there, man. But he had the survivor mindset. He had the will to survive, and it just seems like when we go through these stories, someone who had spent a lot of time in a position of absolute despair, you've given up, is when they decided to give up, is when a little miracle happened. Like just something happened to give them a little bit more. I'm not going to say hope, because he said hope would kill him, because he heard the airplane and he started chasing the airplane because the canopy was too thick. There was like at one point he saw a glimpse of the airplane through a small 6-inch diameter opening in the canopy above, and that gave him hope, and he said, okay. He did more damage to his feet then chasing the plane than he would have just accepted it. So at the moment that these individuals in survival situations accept defeat, accept loss, and just choose to go, something miraculous usually happens. And it's just, maybe that's not for every case, but for a lot of these cases, it is. So the hindsight's going to be very difficult on this one.
Yeah,
very, very difficult. But we can manage it. I think we can manage it.
Yeah, this is probably one of the most dangerous places in the world.
What jungle was he lost in?
The Amazon,
like the Brazilian rainforest, or like something in the Amazon. Okay.
He's Belize. Belize. Yeah, I think it's.
Go ahead.
Belize.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
You can, if you guys got the aptitude, we can look up his story, and if you want to kind of follow it a little further from here, definitely go do that, and it's pretty awesome. You can actually follow the actual rivers and stuff like that they trekked, but where do you want to take this? Do you want to take it from the standpoint of the four men together, or do you want to go from his situation on?
I started right at the four men personally, because that's the first mistake straight out of the gate in my mind, is that you had four able guys. One that was pretty messed up, he had jungle rot on his feet, and he was kind of known as a whiner from the beginning anyways, but he's an able body. At least you can, if you had to outrun something, he'd be an easy one to outrun. And you've got your group already, and the first thing you should do is stay together, so that's their first mistake. So I'd start there.
I agree. Yeah. Trouble always happens when people start splitting off from the main group, doing their own thing. Much better to stick together, because sometimes a guy could just be like losing it, whatever, and another guy is able there to calm him down and stuff like that. When somebody else is just by themselves or whatever, they're at the mercy of whatever. They could be dropping fire ants on themselves for some reason.
Yeah. So in the four guy situation, AJ.
Hello, can you guys hear me still? You guys are kind of breaking up pretty bad. Now your screens are froze.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to take my mic down because we were breaking up a little bit, and now I've got the picture blowing up so big I can't see anybody. So you want me to take it from where the 4 guys were?
Yeah. If you have an idea on you already broke down the situation where they've already split off and there was already problems. We take the position of I don't know what individual, like Yossi. He's the main character of this hindsight. So
Right.
if you were Yossi and you were with these 4 individuals going
forward. Yes. So if I was Yossi, I mean, he was more of a follower than a leader at the very beginning, but still, with that being said, I'd looking back at it, I'd try to talk the guys into, sticking together, whatever the differences are and why ever they're wanting to split up. I would try to talk them into staying together. That way we're not, doing the first mistake of survival, basically, is, don't split up. If you can, sorry, I'm still trying to mess with my phone, get my screen a little smaller. Don't split up, stick together, try to get a game plan, try to get some kind of thought going. You're already lost. You're in the middle of the Amazon. You've been walking for days. You're already lost. Now, it sounded like they were pretty close to a river, so if there was 2 guys not wanting to raft and 2 guys were wanting to raft, you can maybe come up with a happy medium and just walk the river. Yeah, you're not rafting, but at least you're following the river, so you can potentially get to where you can find a village or whatever. So stick together, try to follow the river, try to, just take a quick assessment of what you have left, because you've trekked into the rainforest for days. You need to see what you have left.
Mm-hmm.
How much food you have to split between everybody, and all that good stuff. And then that'll give you an idea of what you need to hunt. The guy that's got the jungle rod on his feet, if you ain't got nothing else, I think you could probably try to dry that out pretty good and clean it the best you can and just keep it as dry as possible. Once again, if you have, to me, if you have shirt or anything on, I'd be pulling that off and trying to get it onto my feet or whatever, to try to protect my feet as much as possible. And that way you can continue to walk, and it'd be easier to keep drying them out. And plus, then your shoes can dry a little bit, hopefully, your socks, sorry. And then you can just keep rotating back and forth, trying to dry your socks, dry your shirt, and clean it the best you can to get those wounds clean. And then just, keep trying to find your way out by following that river and, letting the strong ones lead the way. It sucks to have a weaker one with you, but, unless it's a complete life and death situation, then, you can try to keep dragging the guy along. Me personally, at some point, if it comes to life and death, you're probably gonna have to kick that guy to the side and keep moving. Unfortunately, just because of how far they were into there, that would probably be what would happen.
Mm-hmm. It looks like we lost Rob.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my screen to shrink down again. I don't know how it does that. What's up, Native?
Native's in the house. Hey, what's up, brother? All right. Some good folks in here.
Yeah.
How am I sounding? I think I just heard myself over.
You're still sounding good, man. I just can't
good.
Figure out what in the exact hell I did here. So once you get set back down, we'll see what you got to say about how you would do your hindsight.
Yeah. Well, verbatim in Yossi's situation.
Good God, man.
All right.
Sorry, dude. I'm trying to get my screen to shrink back down.
Keep me on my toes. In Yossi's situation, being one of 4 guys, and Absolutely right. No splitting off. Keep the group together. If one guy's injured or he's got problems, you want to make a camp, okay? Make a camp for a day or two, like you said. Let's get those feet dry. Let's get your clothes dry. Let's get our bearings. Let's take one healthy guy and have him forage. You know,
Right.
stick around, but not too far. They never mentioned having any weapons, which is obviously they were able to kill monkeys because they were killing and eating monkeys. They never explained how they were doing that. I don't know if they had blowguns. I don't know. I really wish I knew more about that part. But you're making camp, you're drying your feet out, and you're making the individual who feels weak and is a whiny bitch, you give him a job to do. You give him something to do, whether it's just maintaining the fire, bring him sticks so he can keep the fire going, or and then keeping an eye on his own health, his own situation. That's you give him a job and tell him to suck it up because here's your situation. You're either gonna succumb to whatever is happening to you, or you're gonna grow set and you're gonna join us. You're gonna be stronger as a group. So, but you don't want to kind of make them feel bad about that. You want to build them up and give them a job. Basically, give them a job. Make them feel like they're doing something constructive, because it seems like that individual was already starting to get this fatalistic idea, and he seemed fatalistic, I can't swim. He said that he couldn't swim. He's not going to eat monkey. He's not going to do this. He's not and he's not going to take a raft. Okay, as soon as you start doing that, you're breaking down the morale of the rest of the group. So this person needs to sit down, get slapped once, maybe, or
maybe twice.
Listen, you're part of the group, and we're gonna make it together, okay? Because we have to.
Right.
or you're just gonna succumb to whatever's happening to you, and it's gonna be your choice, not ours. Ultimately, and you can't feel bad about that because you've done what your best that you could. So other than that, let's separate that. They obviously die because he was a fatalist. Marcus and Carl, the fake geologist, they don't make it out. They're never seen again. Right. So Kevin and Yossi, let's hit the river. We get thrown from our homemade raft, and I go over the fall, and now I'm stuck in the jungle. I got nothing. I've got nothing. I've got no weapons. I've got no lighters. I've got nothing. I've got a pair of tennis shoes, and I think that was basically all he had. They said something about him eating a little bit of rice. Maybe he found native or wild rice. I don't know, but they were
carrying rice with them.
Yeah, he said he ate a little bit of rice, but he had ran out and he was starving. So I think after 5 days, Yossi finally found a piece of fruit that had fallen from a tree. Yeah, it says it keeps kicking Rob out.
And I can't get
that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Maybe another time when we can kind of coordinate something.
Right.
He said he took a bite of the fruit. Okay, that's amazing. I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be looking for fruit. I would definitely be trying to make myself a weapon, and I would be traveling during the day and really fortifying a situation at night. And I don't know how I'm going to do it with not very much supplies. I'm not going to stick around near it's just me. I'm not going to stick around near the river because of flash flooding. I'm going to move myself up a little bit further inland, but not too far, because of the wildlife situation. Either way, your wildlife's going to be around you. But Starving to death. I'm going to be eating as much random things. It's probably going to kill me, and I'm probably going to die really quickly because I'm going to eat things that I would hopefully recognize had being an adventurist, like Yossi is. He might have studied the land and studied what is edible there, and so I'm going to do what I can to find myself some food and procure a damn weapon of some sort.
Exactly.
I don't care if it's a long stick or a spear or, something
to protect yourself.
Something to swing at something else. Okay. That's what we do. We find something heavy and we swing it at something else. There's a weapon. It's called a weapon of opportunity. It's anything that can be used to hurt another thing at a distance, preferably.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's not much you can do for a situation where you're stuck away from civilization in the Amazon jungle with no supplies. I think honestly, that's where an individual is going to have to make the decision: am I going to give it up, or am I going to fight to the last breath? I'm going to keep moving forward until I stop breathing.
Right.
Now I'm going to be the one who continues to move forward until I stop breathing, whether I've got exposed bones or I'm crawling on my hands and knees until I just quit crawling, and that's it. I mean, that I have the will to live, and that's ultimately what it's going to boil down to in any survival situation.
Yeah, in hindsight on this, make sure you take plenty of gear. You know your way out. Have a compass.
Thank you.
Have maps. Have somebody that knows how to read them maps. All these things they're pretty simple things. And nowadays we have GPS locators and ways to use GPS. So hindsight on this, just have all kinds of things at your disposal. Several ways to start fires. Several ways to catch things.
Yeah.
Like you said.
No, hindsight. Let's go with that. Hindsight. Knowing the individuals that you're going with, know them.
Yeah.
Not just, hey man, I know of a tribe and I'm planning an excursion out into the jungle. Want to go? No, let's not do that. Let's actually know the individuals who you're going with. Know their capabilities, know yours, train, know the environment, really know your environment. You should know in your backyard what you can go eat.
Yeah.
Like here in my backyard, I know what I can go outside and eat off the ground, but I'm not going to find myself like lost in the wilderness of Kansas. But if I do, I'm going to know enough about it to where I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, I did one time.
Yeah, hindsight, you're going into uncharted territory. So you're still going to be able to pick up information and knowledge from the people you're meeting along the way. What do you do? What do they do to cure trench foot? Because I'm sure they've had it before.
Yeah.
You asking questions and you're getting intel on the environment, and that's what's going to help you the most is the information, your situational awareness, and the amount of knowledge you have in the area that you're in. Okay, because what's the most imminent danger around you currently is going to be something that you're going to be able to like identify easily. Everybody sitting around can identify the most imminent danger around them currently, and it's when you're going into the jungle, you need to have those things understood prior to going into an environment of some situation. Take the extra gear. Everybody, it's mandatory. Everybody carries a knife, 6-inch long blade, at the minimum 6 inches long. Everybody is required to carry a knife. Everybody's required to carry their own water rations. Everybody's required to carry their own first aid. Everybody's required to have, fire starting kits. Everybody's required to have, certain types of training. If you're going on a I'm going to call it a mission, because they're not just an expedition. That was, to me, it was a mission that these 4 dudes who got together, dreamed up and then wrote it on a napkin in a bar. That's what it feels like.
Pretty much.
Yeah, let's go do that. That sounds awesome. Let's go. Bam. And they knew shit. They're one individual who understood some military tactics and some training about survival. And I guarantee you he got that in the IDF. Guarantee you got survival. But he was probably the only one who got it. And that's why he was able to probably make it out. Because he would kill something if it attacked him. He would.
Right.
He didn't bitch out because he didn't want to eat a monkey. You know, he wasn't like, okay.
Yeah. I like monkeys and animals and all that good stuff, but man, if I'm hungry, I'm eating them up.
Hindsight, he had mentioned something about being lost. And he had also mentioned something about, which I agree with, he made a marker. And I like the fact that you're in the jungle. It's really easy to get your bearings. You turned around, you don't know where you're going. So there are, just pick signs of direction, and you can make markings. You can use rocks. You can carve a certain. There's universal signs where you can carve something into the trunk of a tree that gives you an indication of which direction you went, or a person who might be looking for you will see the sign and say, okay, this individual went this way because they started looking for me here. Now, in counter tracking techniques, you don't want to leave scars on anything, and this is besides the point. But in a situation where you're lost, but someone, a friendly team is looking for you, leave markings that are obvious, and leave distinct human signs that you've been through an area. And the most important to me would be like a scarring on trees.
Right.
And, that way, if you circle back and you found it, oh crap, okay. You continue putting those markers every 100 paces. You do something on a, in the environment the way that you're going in a certain direction. If you try to climb a tree, try to get some high visuals on something, try to get to the canopy top,
Right.
But his fall in the river, damn good idea. That's what saved his life. That's what saves a lot of people's lives in these situations.
River will always take you to a village or a town. Well, in theory, it should always take you to a village or a town or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate to cut it short again there, bud, but we started really late.
Yeah.
I feel kind of shitty because I talk to Angry Prepper a lot, so I kind of like to shoot everybody over that way.
Yeah. Everybody go.
Get over there. I mean, you can hang out and talk for a few more minutes. I'm going to say bye to my mother-in-law real quick, but I know that Angry Prepper started at 8 o'clock, and I feel really bad. I didn't know he was doing that.
Oh, what time is it? Oh, man.
Yeah. So
all right.
I'd kind of like to get off of here. Next time we do this, we'll for sure shoot for 6 o'clock. If one of us can't make it, we're just going to have to, I'll send you the way you could do it on my link or whatever. You can just use mine and hop on there and you can do it if I can't make it or whatever. So,
okay. That sounds good.
I appreciate everybody that made it over. It's always nice to see all you guys, and
absolutely
sure do appreciate it. Y'all have a nice night. Stay safe. Heartland, as always, I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man.
Hopefully
I'll stick around on here if you want to close it out, and we can chat back and forth for a minute.
Yeah, I think if I hit end, we can still talk. But if I hang up on you, I'll just call you or something.
Have a good night, folks. Have a good night, folks. Keep prepping.